CTA interaction. CTA stands for call to action. These are things that you want people to do. So we talked about this before. You want your client to interact with you. You want them to call. You want them to schedule an appointment, fill out a form, email, chat. You want them to do one of these things. And what I want to do here is actually just talk about a few things. First of all, if you want them to call, you can put your phone number in the button, but make sure the call button is easy to find. Okay, also make sure your call button will work on a mobile. So when I take my mobile phone and I click on it, it will actually start to dial it for me. You want to make it really easy for them. That's not hard to do, but that's one of the things you want to make sure you are doing. You can schedule an appointment. I use Calendly. Calendly works great for me. So if you were to go to my website, let me show you that right now. Where are we? Here we go. If you go to my website, oh, I didn't pull mine up. If you go to my website and you go to schedule an appointment, I have a little thing down here where you can book a meeting. It takes me right over to Calendly, and you can see what schedule is free for me. And so you can go here and you can actually select the dates. For many of you, this can be a really easy way to be able to do things. One of my clients resisted it for years. I told him he should do it. He finally did. And he said, Trevor, this is so great. So anyways, and I'll talk to you about him in just a moment. We'll go to his website shortly. Fill in a form. Okay, if you're going to have a form, make sure the title and the button at the bottom align. So if you say schedule an appointment, it somehow should be related, what the text on the button should be related to the title at the top. Okay, and if you want to get really tricky, if you have a bunch of different service lines, you may want to have different forms for different service or product lines. Okay. Normally, when you are making a form to fill out, don't put in a lot of fields. Who here really likes to fill out lots of different form fields when you're filling out the form for a first time? Nobody, right? So don't go and do that to the people and expect, oh, they're going to fill out everything. Now, there's a secret that you can do here. There's a very high percentage of people who, once they fill out your form of maybe the name, email, phone number, and maybe another notes field where they can put in some information. They filled out those 4 or 5 fields. When you go to the thank you page to say thank you for filling out the form, if you ask them some other questions, many of them will fill out those questions for you. Okay, so that's an easy way to get more information without having the information on the first form, trying to get everything. The other one is chat. There's a number of free and low-cost chat applications. There's one that I use called Tidio, and this is Tidio here. So they have a little chat app that is right here. So I can click here and I can do a chat. Now, chat doesn't work for everybody. In my business, the people who fill out the chat app are people who are trying to sell stuff to me. So I don't have one on my website because I'm not looking for more people to sell more stuff to me. So you can get a chat app, see if it's going to work for you. This is probably more for a consumer-based product, but it can be, depending on the type of what you're selling, be an effective way to be able to sell more, interact more with prospects. Okay, there's a list here. And also remember that there are chat bots. A chat bot is where you have an automated conversation. It comes on immediately and says, are you looking for blah, blah, blah? And then it may ask you a few more questions. So if there's nobody there to take your information, they've even got a little bit of information from you ahead of time. You're going to see some of that as you use some of those chat applications, and note that that's something that you can do. Okay. Now, when I start a website design for my company does a website design for a customer of ours, what we will do is we will have them design. We will create the copy, either create the copy for them or get the copy from them, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to do for the header and the footer. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the header. In a header, what you want to be able to do is the header normally contains your logo and the main menu. Now, some websites will have a menu and a top bar, and a menu in the top bar, okay? But getting back to the menu, in the menu, ideally, you want to have a menu that has 5 items or less, because it's very easy to consume with your eyes. 5 items or less. 4 is really good. And if you choose to have a top bar, you'll often find things like contact, login, phone number, an email or an email icon, social media icons, login, a language switcher. Those are common things you'll find on the top bar. So let's take a look at what some of those things look like. So here's Tidio. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 options and a button. So those are really 5 things that they've got on their website in their menu. They make it really nice and simple to be able to make a choice. The fewer choices there are, the easier it is for people to make a choice. Okay. And I'll use what some people may consider a bit of a sexist example. If I was to take my wife shopping and we had enough money to buy 2 pair of shoes for her, and we went into a store, assuming we can go into a store these days, and there was 3 pair of shoes and she loved all 3, but we only had enough money for 1 pair of shoes. What do you think would happen? Do you think we'd leave that store and go to another store? Chances are yes, because wasn't able to choose from the 3. The ideal thing you want to do is give a simple choice to people. Usually the fewer choices, the better. Okay, back to my website here. I've got 4 simple options here. Okay, web design, digital marketing, e-commerce, and about, and then schedule an appointment. So when you come here and you actually look at my menu, you know what we do from a high level overview, exactly what we do just by looking at our menu. And there's a clear call to action, schedule an appointment. Okay, well, don't need to see that. And HubSpot. HubSpot here has, I got to get rid of their chat app so I can see things. So they have 4 menu items here, but they have in all this other stuff here that isn't if people are looking, they'll actually want to come here. So there's a language switcher. They can contact sales. They can find out about the company. They can do customer support and a login. They can search. All that stuff is up here. But the main stuff that people are looking for, what is this software all about? What's the pricing? What are the resources? That's all really there, really easy to see. Salesforce training, another one, simple. And they have their phone number up here because that's the best way for them to interact with their customer. They want them to make a phone call. Another one, just a different one so you can see what it looks like if there's a full image in the background. What about these guys? Apple. You may have heard of them before. They try and make it simple, but they've got a lot of choices. So they don't have the opportunity to narrow it down to 3 or 4, or at least they've determined that that's not appropriate. This company, if you go to most law firms, they will have something like this because they provide lots of different practice areas, and they want to showcase them right up front, and there's really no way around it. Okay. And Salesforce, here's another one. Phone number search, contact us, log in. Oh, there's a language switcher or a country switcher. Lots of different things here. Lots of different ways that you can do a header. Okay.
Trevor, quick question.
Yes.
They don't normally have frequently asked questions. It's always topical about what they offer, about us, their product and services. This is not a place for frequently asked questions, is it?
Well, you might put frequently asked questions under About Us.
Okay.
Now, one of the things that I suggested you do is you have frequently asked questions on each page, 2 or 3 of them. And the reason for that is a number of things. One, Google has this thing called instant answer. Is that when you go and you search for something, if I was going to go and search for, let's see here, how to get Salesforce training. Okay, we were just on there. Oh, there isn't one for that. Let's see here. I can't think of one that's going to get me an instant answer yet, so I'm not going to go there. But sometimes when you do a Google search, right there is like a paragraph, and it gives you an instant answer for what you were looking for. If you have a frequently asked question, your instant answer may make it in there. There's another section that comes in on a Google a Google search engine results page sometimes. And it's people also ask. Frequently asked questions can end up in there. So you might think the more frequently asked questions you ask on your frequently asked questions page or on another page, the better, the more likely you are to show up. The answer is no. Google will only index 2 or 3 that they see on any one page. And they really like to see it on different pages because they want to be relevant, frequently asked questions for that page. People very rarely go to the frequently asked questions pages. Those are not very often visited.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Good question. Okay, so submenus. Okay, we got Salesforce, Visa, Path, HubSpot. I want to show you, there's a couple of options of submenus that may interest you. So a submenu is normally something that, here's a simple submenu. Lots of places have that. But you can also get one that's a little more complex, especially if you've got lots of things to choose from. What you want to do is you want to help people to make a choice and make it feel easy to read. So for these folks, they really want to have people go, not sure where to start about getting immigration, going to learn more. Because really going through all these, if you don't know anything about immigration, what's that mean to you? Okay, let's take a look at Salesforce. They have this one here. They have different ways of being able to organize it. So instead of just having all these different columns, they give you a title for each of the columns and what it's all about. So that's really effective. Now, there's this one here. These are folks called Hi Mama, and they have a very interesting way of doing it here. Who uses Hi Mama? And guess which one they want you to read? They want you to read all the testimonials, but you can find out other stuff down here. Or in the features overview and how do they help folks with COVID, because of COVID. There's other things that can be here, but they've highlighted things to make it easy for people to understand what they want them to read. Okay. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the footer. At the bottom of every page, on almost every website, you should have a footer. There's a lot of different things you may want to have in the footer. There's all sorts of reasons to put them in there. You may want to put your logo, important links. You may have a few or you may have a lot. You may want to have your physical address, phone number, email, social media links. There's all sorts of things you can put down there. Really, the purpose of the footer is to help people to be able to find the information about you that they want to find. There could be a branding aspect. You can even have call to actions in there. Let's take a look, and let's go here in the bottom bar. The bottom bar you're usually going to find as well right below the footer. It's just a small, very small section that you can take a look at. You can have some information in. Normally you're going to have a copyright 2020 for the Story Web Design and Marketing Inc. and a privacy policy. You may also want to have terms and conditions. You may also want to have a return policy. If you're an e-commerce company, you probably want to have a return policy, although you may put that in the terms and conditions. And you may want to put a developer or a designer credit. So most of the companies that we've worked on, in their bottom bar, there's a little credit to my company in the bottom, and you'll see some of those. There are some free resources to make this a little easier. Most of you, even if you're a lawyer, you know that creating the legalese for a privacy policy, terms and conditions, or return policy can be very time consuming to do. There's a number of free tools that you can use here by Shopify Privacy Policy internally. Okay, now let's get into some examples. So this is my website. At the bottom of my website, I have a number of links here. I have my contact information, social media, and I have offices. There's a number of reasons why I have a number of these links. They add a little bit of link juice. They're actually helpful a little bit for search engine optimization. And they also, because I wanted to put all three mailing addresses for my company on here, it was important that I was able to have that. Again, this is for SEO purposes that I have all this on here. Google looks and they say, hey, if you're ready to put your address in your footer, then it probably is relevant. Okay. If you're not putting your address in your footer, it's not relevant. So again, if you're a local company, you want to think about putting your address in here for local SEO purposes, being found on Google, found and ranked on Google. This company, Eddy Solutions, they've got a very cool website. You can check it out sometime if you'd like to. They have their logo on here. They're repeating their statement about who they are, their physical location, contact information. Those are the essentials for them. Each website, each requirement is unique. By the way, these folks have something that if you're interested in knowing about accessibility, they have an accessibility software in here that we work with. It's called Max Access, and it helps companies to be accessible. In Ontario, that's AODA, or AODA compliance. In the States, that's ADA compliance, or the worldwide standard is WCAG, or also known as WCAG. Elite. This is another one. They have here the main different things that they carry. They help people become parents, donate eggs, or become a surrogate. There's an about us, lots of contact information here, and the logo just for the branding purposes on here as well. Okay. This one's very simple, McIntyre Solutions. They don't want people calling them, but you can easily find their simple 5-page website. You can get the contact information quite quickly. Paws Playgrounds, they're a dog daycare and kennels company. They have on here their hours of operation. They have their contact information, a little bit of navigation information, and their address. And of course, you can see here that some of the websites here have my logo on them. Salesforce, this is a larger company. They have a lot of links on here. Bit of an overkill on here, but this is how they've done it. The most important thing, they don't have a problem people contacting them. Their phone number is here really easily. Many people have told me about how Apple makes a website that's so simple and easy to look at. I would say that's very true, except when you look at their footer. This is a little bit overwhelming, but again, this is what they felt was the best for their people visiting the website to be able to find the different information that they want. They have a simple menu here, but then in the then once you get down to the footer, they've got a lot of different stuff for people searching for what they want to find. Oracle, big software company. They've kept theirs really simple. Little Caesars, pizza company. So they have some menus here, the simple menus of stuff that they're interested in helping people find. And then what they've got here as well is some call to action items on here. Neat how they've done that, as well as their mobile app. Okay, and just so you know, we haven't done Little Caesars website, although that would be an interesting project for us to do someday. Okay, now just to get a head start on tomorrow, I want you to start thinking about your About page. People come to your About page not because they're generally interested in just finding out about your company for your sake. They want to learn about your company because they want to make a better choice. So you want to really think about how you are helping them find proof about who you are and that you're relevant and that you're the right company for them to choose. There's lots of different information you can put in your About page. We'll be talking about lots of different examples about how people have done that. But for now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to start with, here's a bunch of questions you can ask yourself. Don't think you have to answer all of them, but there are lots of questions that you can ask, and I want you to start asking them to yourself and filling this out. You know, how do people feel about using your product or service? What do you think your employees, if you've got employees, what do they say about your company? What do clients like about your company? Lots of different ideas here. Don't think you have to answer them all, but if you took the time to answer 5 or 10 of these questions here, you're going to have an excellent base for creating your About page. So with that, I say get to it, and we'll look forward to working more on the About page tomorrow. Start filling it out, don't delay. Why don't you take at least 5 minutes now and start working on a few of these questions. Thanks so much, folks.